Thank you, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Swanton Village Board of Trustees for January 29th, 2024. We have one person online, you said?
Yes.
And so we're about to begin. First order of business, would you please stand and pledge allegiance to our flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda review. Do we have any changes to our agenda this evening?
We do have one.
We have one, the letter from the,
No, number 8, Swanton Village Police Department update. Chief Matt Sullivan had an emergency and he's unable to present tonight, so I'd like to move him to the next meeting, which is February 12th.
okay, good. Anything else? And we have a letter from the select board, which you're gonna read in your update, Bill.
Correct.
Okay, public comment. I don't know who's on the screen, but,
Susie Kelleher is on screen. She's not asking to.
no, okay. So, item number 5, approve and accept our minutes from the Monday, January 8th, 2024 meeting, as presented by Diane. What's your pleasure on our minutes?
I'll move we approve them as presented.
I'll second.
So we have a motion and a second to approve and accept the minutes from Monday, January 8th. Any discussion on the minutes?
Good job.
If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion is carried unanimously. Item number 6, approve and accept the village warrants through Thursday, January 25th of 2024. What's your pleasure on the warrants?
I move that they be accepted. I would second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve and accept the village warrants through Thursday, January 25th. Any discussion on the motion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No opposition, the motion's carried unanimously. Item number 7, approve the 2024 annual warning, of which I will read. That's the usual procedure before we approve or discuss it. So the Village of Swanton annual warning. The legal voters of the Village of Swanton are hereby warned and notified to meet at the Swanton Village Complex, 121st Street, Swanton, Vermont, on Tuesday, March 5th, 2024, at 7 a.m. to vote on the articles set forth. All articles are to be voted by Australian ballot. The polls open at 7 a.m. and close at 7 p.m. Article 1, to elect from the legal voters of said village the following officers: President for a 1-year term, Trustee for a 3-year term, Clerk for a 1-year term, and Collector of delinquent taxes for a 1-year term. Article number 2, shall the voters of the Village of Swanton appropriate $173,825 for the operation and maintenance of the general fund for 2024. Article number 3, shall the voters of the Village of Swanton appropriate $691,290 for the operation and maintenance of the Highway Department for 2024.
Typo.
Typo? That should be 2024, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
We'll change that.
I thought I heard it.
Article number 4, shall the voters of the Village of Swanton appropriate $88,480 for the operation and maintenance of the Fire Department for 2024. Article number 5, shall the voters of the Village of Swanton appropriate $998,967 for the operation and maintenance of the police department for 2024. And Article number 6, shall the general obligation bonds and or notes of the Village of Swanton in an amount not to exceed $14,833,613, subject to reductions from the application of available state and federal grants in aid and reserves, be issued for the purpose of financing the cost of constructing a new public safety facility for the Swanton Village Police Department and the Swanton Fire Department. The cost of such improvements estimated to be $14,833,613. The legal voters of the Village of Swanton are further notified that an informational meeting will be held on Monday, February 26, 2024 at 7 p.m. in person and via Teams for the purpose of explaining all the budget items to the voters. There is also Teams meeting access for this meeting. Anyone desiring to participate and listen in on the meeting can do so by going to the village's website at swantonvt.gov. Click on Village Trustees, and find the meeting by date. Open the agenda and click on the meeting link. Dated at Swanton, Vermont, this 29th day of January 2024. Signed by Neil Spear, Chris Leach, Eugene LeBombard, and Adam Paxman. Received and filed this 29th day of January 2024. That is our village warning for this evening.
I'm gonna go print a new copy.
Yeah. We can make a motion and approve it.
Yeah. I
While
would
you're
make the
copying,
motion that
we just
we,
won't sign it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna,
we approve it with the single change.
Yeah, okay. Motion and second.
Second.
You made it, oh, you made the motion, Chris?
Yes.
Okay. So the motion has been made and seconded to approve the Village of Swanton annual warning with a correction under Article 3 of 2024 instead of 2023. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No opposition, no abstentions. Everybody voted in favor. The warning has been approved. We will sign the revised version after this. Okay, next item. Like we say, and we have no report from Matt, right?
Correct.
Review and acknowledge the fourth quarter SQRP report. That's
Yeah, Diane has that though,
that's
so we're gonna have to wait. We're gonna have to wait on Diane, she has it.
oh,
Should get us a copy.
Yeah.
My
we got a
favorite,
copy
my
here.
favorite.
Oh, you've got it,
report.
okay.
Yeah.
Yep, then you're good to go.
Yep.
Strike that.
Yeah.
We're gonna
We're all
let Chris
set.
do it one more time.
Yes.
gonna let Chris do it.
I would like to acknowledge that we have seen the report and acknowledge the fine work that's being done by our village office and the electric department. Again, it would be nice to know how we do against other villages and other electric departments. However, this is an internal evaluation tool which we have always done well with.
Now, an observation, this report is eventually, well, after we recognize it, sent to the state Public Utilities Commission, or do they send it to anybody?
Yeah, that's correct. So we actually, I don't have the data, but thank you for reminding me. We can get comparisons. We do very, very well compared to any other muni power, as well as statewide bigger power like GMP, WEC.
That's what my investigation said as well.
Yes.
The VEPSA people keep us well informed.
Is that something new, Bill, or is that something,
In terms of the outages,
no, in terms of being able to compare? Because I know in years past, we've never been able to.
I'll research it, I believe
Yeah,
that
I'm
we,
ju- I guess
I
I'm just more
believe that we
curious.
can, maybe I'm just hearing it anecdotally at VEPSA meetings that, everybody is
That's-
envious of.
That's what I was told, but
Yes.
they will not publish a report that summarizes everyone's ability,
Yeah.
but it's okay to verbalize it.
Yeah, I think that's fair, but I'll verify that.
Okay.
Okay, and just for the sake of clarity, the SQRP report is a municipal utility service quality and reliability plan report that is in-house,
Tracking our work
Check,
orders, our
yeah.
bills, our
checking, like Chris
billing
says,
errors, yeah.
checking the efficiency of our electric department, right?
Yep.
Basically. Okay, so we have a motion.
Yeah, we acknowledge that we've seen it, we don't need a motion.
Okay.
We
That's
just
right.
need the minutes of the meeting to acknowledge that we've seen it, we've reviewed it, and we approve it.
Okay. Good enough, thank you.
Correct.
Review and approve, item number 10. Review and approve the Abnaki Maquam Bay of Missisquoi's coin drop for May 2024.
Make a motion that we approve their request.
That's gonna be out here, right?
Same location.
Yep,
Yeah, okay.
They, the usual stuff, they have the insurance, they have,
yep, certificate of
Okay.
liability
and what are the
insurance.
dates?
May 11th, Saturday, May 11th, with the rain date of Saturday, May 18th.
Okay, the motion has been made and seconded
Yep.
to approve the Abnaki's application for coin drop. Any discussion? Adam?
Nope.
All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Opposed?
Okay, we have one opposition member. But the majority rules, so we've approved the Abnaki's application for coin drop. Next up, item number 11, our village manager's update. So we'll turn it over to Bill.
Okay, thank you. The first one is, I got a hand-delivered letter from Town Administrator Brian Savage from the Select Board addressed to all of you. I'm gonna read it into the record, and then we will make sure we have copies and ask Diane to make it available as a public document on our website. Dated January 16th, 2024, from the entire Select Board to the Village of Swanton President and Board of Trustees. Gentlemen, in response to your proposal for 24/7 police coverage, our public hearing held on January 10th, 2024, as well as additional public input received, we wanted to provide a summary of the discussion and conversations. There were over 50 people in attendance with an additional 20 or so attending via Zoom. The discussion focused on the existing 56-hour-a-week schedule, the new 70 hours per week schedule, as well as the mirrored coverage of 24/7 coverage for both the town and the village. There was a, excuse me. There was a good exchange of conversation and ideas brought forward. Overall, it seemed to be the consensus of those present that the 24/7 coverage proposal presented to the board is not affordable at the present time. There were also some concern of the 70-hour coverage. However, that was perhaps more due to the cost given the increase in a variety of other areas of property taxes. The select board explained why the 70-hour coverage works better as it relates to management of the shifts of the PD. The select board informed the audience that we are in support of the 70-hour coverage and urged them to vote for it on town meeting day. The audience was informed that as the town grows, we will eventually have to grapple with the issue of 24/7 coverage and reach a fair and equitable solution. The proposed public safety complex was discussed only in the frame of the cost, and we did not get into specifics as it was explained. It is a village project and none of the select board is qualified to give any details on the project. It is the opinion of the select board, as well as the general public opinion we have heard, is that the police station is currently grossly inadequate, but the cost seems to be a factor having people in opposition. Going forward, we look forward to working with you in addressing the public safety needs of both the town and the village. Sincerely, Town of Swanton Select Board, with all 5 signatures. So again, I just wanted to make sure that was read for the record, and we will scan copies and make sure it's on our website.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Any questions in reference to that?
Thank you.
For the select board.
Thank you to them.
Okay. I will pass that on. So public safety facility and complex renovation open house. So we've now completed 22 open houses. We have 5 additional dates in February. Again, pretty prominently displayed on our Facebook page and website. Remaining dates, February 2, 7, 15, 16, and 21, with the usual 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 6 o'clock. Again, as a reminder to the public, these are not properly warned. They are not public meetings. We do not have a quorum of our trustees present at any time. Would be way too onerous to track meeting minutes for 37 open houses. But we have 18 remaining. We encourage everybody to feel free to come in. And if you need any details on anything that's going on, just let us know. Of course, you just verified or ratified the warning that included a trimmed down version that includes only phase 1. So we are asking for that phase 1, reducing the impact by $5 million. Currently working with REARC to finalize our mailer. As a reminder, we agreed with REARC in the beginning to just before the election, maybe about a week or 7 to 10 days before the election, all of the village voters will get a mailer in the mail simply saying, here's the date, here's the time, the location. It's a reminder. We will get it out to ensure that in case that is the first notice of somebody hearing about this project, I can't imagine, but just in case, we will make sure we still have a couple of open houses. In the event that that does not happen and somebody wants to come in prior to the vote, again, just reach out for us directly, stop in at any time, call our general number, and we will accommodate anybody that wants to come in for an open house at any time. Any questions in reference to the process so far for open houses?
Question.
Yes.
Well, more of the process. So REARC is gonna do a mailer, reminding everybody to come out and vote. Are we gonna do a mailer with regards to what we're doing and why we're doing it?
It's both.
It's both, okay.
I was hoping,
I kinda thought it
I was
was.
hoping to have that sample here today. I don't have that here. I don't think Stacy was available today. So it is a trifold to save costs. We're doing it ourselves. So when I say they're gonna help us design it, we, meaning Diane and the pros out front, are going to print, trifold, mail, and ship it off. We'll post it also, I don't know, it'll be weird to post on, we'll post it on our website, but it's, I don't know how that's gonna look because of the fold, but we'll.
Maybe Stacy can figure that out.
Just a little bit of an informational
Yeah,
piece.
yeah, so it talks about the highlights of what we're asking for,
Yep.
certain things, highlights from the open houses, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
The what and the why, right?
Yes, correct. Yep. Any other questions before we move on?
Nope.
Okay. All right, I've got a handout for everybody. So the mailer, this is a very old one, by the way. So this is phase 1 and phase 2. This is nonsensical, it was just as an example, but it's all I have, so it'll look like that, but with a lot different details, because we're only doing phase 1. Also heading your way is a copy of the org chart that you will find as a visual representation of all the things that we have going on in the village. As you know, currently we have 40 full-time employees, 9 part-time, and 30 volunteers in our fire department. So this is your copy. Also, I think it's important to note, I think it's a good reminder for folks. It's shocking, even folks that work here have seen this on the wall. And when they see it visually, they're like, I work here and I didn't realize that there's so many moving parts. So we have posted one outside both entrances. So when you walk in where you would vote, It's right front and center. When you walk into our customer service professionals, it's on the bulletin board on the left. So that, we'll continue to update that. Every section, every department has their own org chart that was created, and then they have this master org chart, and we'll update that every year. And again, I think the feedback that we get is that it's a good visual representation. And I think we need to post that on our website as well. Just some quick updates on Invoice Cloud. So Invoice Cloud is the software that we utilize up front. When I say we again, I don't mean me. I mean the pros that work up there and do the billing and the customer service every day. But some interesting stuff, right? Because we talk about how are we able to track whether or not people are going paperless? How many people walk in the building versus, you know, pay online? Well, these guys actually track that and they give us an annual report. So 48% of all our customers made an online payment in 2023, which is a 10% increase over last year, over 2022. 22% of customers converted to paperless invoices. That's like gold for us. That's now, you know, every time. So I confirm with Diane again, because it's something that I just don't know. Every time somebody signs up for that, it's one less in the queue every single month it's going out and costing us to mail. 17% of customers enrolled in auto pay in 2023, which is a 21% increase over 2022.
Wow.
We believe the fact that we are no longer allowing credit, and we're changing our processes out front, that this will double or at least increase significantly over the next year. Any questions reference that?
Good to know.
Good, because I probably wouldn't be able to answer them. Diane could. Water Department job posting interviews are this Wednesday, and we should have a selection by end of week, and we'll keep you posted on that. But again, this is more for those that are going to watch at home either currently or at a later date. It's a reminder that they'll now have 2 positions in water, 2 positions in wastewater. All 4 within 18 months are expected to fully be licensed for each other's operations. The only one that currently has that is Jason Starr. He's both, but the other 3 will be required within 18 months to have full certifications for both water and wastewater at the required level to meet the needs for the organization. More to follow on that. I'm going to pass out a quick handout. This is from Aldrich and Elliott. So you recall we had this discussion in past meetings. They're our engineers for the lead service inventory, fully paid for by a grant with the state of Vermont, but it is a requirement by October 16th of 2024. All Vermont public water systems are required to inventory their drinking water service lines that connects homes, buildings, businesses to our water system. And again, the whole point is they're trying to detect any lead in the system and then to remove that lead. So this will go to all of our homeowners, all of our customers, I should say, so roughly 1,550-ish. And they will fill that out and get it back to us. And then eventually, I think we're required to chase down anyone that doesn't complete it, so we have a complete inventory. Again, we have some time. I think we're ahead of the game, but that's a good place to be. We're probably a couple of weeks away from sending this out, maybe a month away. And again, deadline October 16th, 2024. Let's move to EV charging stations for a minute. So you recall the conversation from last time. We had the vendor, our current vendor, for our level 2 charger out back. Again, it's control module incorporated out of Connecticut. I stated that our goal was to reach out to them, to have them give us a quote, and to revisit the conversation. The trustees authorized that we, the village, would pay for all charging expenses up until February 1st. By that time, I said we would have a good survey, we would do a cost-benefit analysis, and we'd have a different path forward. We do not. This company has been difficult to work with. They have not been responsive. They have not provided us with a quote. So that leads us to the point where we have essentially, we're right back to the drawing board. We have a couple of options. One is, and it's the one I recommend to you, that effective February 1st, we put an out of order sign on the chargers, and we cease providing charging services for the community, while we still, on the back end, push this company or an alternative company to tell us what the solution is. At the same time, Heidi has already filled out the pre-application for level 3 chargers for here, 121st Street and 74 Merchants Row. Still, even on a grant-funded fast track, that's 6 to 12 months away, probably 9 to 12 months away. So that's option one. Option two is we keep them going. There's no way to pay for it. There's no way to do a credit card swipe at this time for an indeterminate amount of time. You could say that you want the village to keep paying for those fees. So that's the predicament that we're in. Control technologies, in my personal opinion, have let us down. They've been difficult to work with historically prior to my arrival, and they remain that way today.
Can we find another company?
We are searching now, but
That's what I
I think it's dated technology. So on the other backside, we will continue to look for another level 2 charger, because theoretically, if we get to a point where we have a tariff through the PUC, we know we're charging the right amount approved by the state of Vermont, and we have a level 3 out here and a companion level 2, nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's a good thing as long as we're not losing money on that deal.
Do we have a contract with this outfit?
I don't think it's years ago now. I don't believe there's anything where we can hold them accountable. I think we gave up on them in the past. We tried to re-engage, and it's not working out well.
So we aren't locked in with them
We are not.
on our end?
No.
They don't have us locked in?
Not that I have seen, and I would have seen it.
It would have seemed to me that there's a big federal push for these charger stations. It would seem to me that maybe other states, other villages, other cities might be having the same problem. Is there any way to connect with them? And
I think we're in the
Chase.
same boat, and I don't know why. I don't know anything about the history or how we got this company. The charge piece failed. And then remember, we had a generous donation, a donor who provided the fees, and now we don't. So I think this could be just a temporary hiatus. We just need time to properly research it and all of their alternatives before moving forward, and we'll go from there. On a side note, there are 391 EV charging stations in Vermont. Of course, part of this is if we cease, we are ready, we have researched, we being Heidi, how to contact the state of Vermont to ensure that nobody looks on the map like they would now and say there's a charging station here. So the closest ones are Highgate at the Frog Pond near the town offices. I'm not sure if it's still called that, I'm going way back. And then there's three in St. Albans City, 2 in Enosburg.
I would think having a level 2 and a level 3 would be more advantageous anyway, only because the people who are likely to use these locally are people who are traversing the village. It's not somebody who's looking for a long-time charge. So I think that's a really good pursuit to go for the fast chargers.
Where's, talk about the state of Vermont, where's Efficiency Vermont in this? They're promoting electric vehicles and everything. What about charging stations?
The new fast chargers are all sponsored by Green Mountain Power. So that's where the negotiation comes in. We will have a local match. But again, I think what we're trying to do is, for an indeterminate amount of time, it could be months, we need authority to continue to research a solution. But we need the trustees to weigh in on how you want us to proceed. Do we shut it off effective February 1st until we find a solution? Or do we continue to offer that services out of our budget?
Option 3 is TV land. We're looking for a donor.
If there is a generous benefactor who wishes to become a donor for this initiative, let us know. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
My motion would be we would go with shutting it off on February 1st with out of commission with a notice that's saying we are pursuing and hope to pursue within the next year multiple level 2 or 3 stations.
Hey, Bill, how much, we estimated it might be $100 or so for the month that we just concluded or will conclude.
We don't have
about
it, we
right?
don't have it yet,
You don't have any numbers at all?
no. I would say just because I'm here a lot, it's not used very often. There's days where you don't see anybody parked there. There's a lot of overnights, the F-150's there a lot, on an overnight basis. So,
But we can report at our next meeting
Yes.
what this month of January cost us.
Okay, so we have a motion. Do we have a second?
You can hold it or you can table it. I want to shut it off February 1st,
Unless we find a donor,
unless you find a donor.
Correct.
okay? That's your motion?
So that's the motion.
I'm altering the motion to say we're going to cease off that service February 1st, with the exception if some individual or corporation steps forward and offers to pay the bill.
Okay. Now do we have a second to that one?
Yes, sir. I
Okay.
do.
Okay, the motion been made and seconded to cease the EV charger service February 1st unless we find a generous benefactor that wants to fund it and keep it going. Right? That's basically what. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the motion carried unanimously.
you comfortable with that? Okay. All right. Sure. Okay, thank you. Downtown area update, couple different things here. So we talked about, again, Merchants Row, that area. The handrail kits are in that we ordered for, we ordered 8 of them. There's really 6, but we got a couple extra just in case installation goes horribly wrong. Dan Chevalier and his maintenance team, within the next 2 to 3 weeks, will put those in, take the old ones out. And then we are continuing the research for the handicap accessible ramp. At the same time with VHB, as you know, VHB was the one that did our scoping study for $27,500, and they're our vendor of choice for our $375,000 downtown enhancements. So first real kind of kickoff meeting with the state of Vermont to highlight, at least initially, what the plans are. 4 major areas that they're targeting, right? 375,000, we know we have millions of dollars in need. 375,000 takes you only so far. So based upon that scoping study, all the public forums, all the feedback, here is what the project's gonna entail at this point. You'll get a presentation in the near future, we just don't have that ready yet. A 3-way stop at Canada and First Street, a shortened crosswalk at Canada toward Cody's and Bob's Quick Stop. I'm not sure if it's even called Bob's Quick Stop anymore.
Wait,
Yeah,
go back
sure.
one,
3-way stop.
where?
By the
At
library.
First Street in Canada.
It's not
No,
First.
Grand.
Grand,
Grand.
First and Grand.
my typo, correct.
Okay,
Grand, you are correct. Shame on me.
that's okay.
Good catch.
He was the only one that picked it up, because I was
Paying
listening.
attention anyway.
He's paying attention. I appreciate that. I'd like to say it was a test, but it was not. So yes, 3-way stop at Grand and First Street, a shortened crosswalk going down the hill. So let's come up the bridge. Go back the other way. On the VFW side of that intersection with Marble Mill, there's gonna be a
Oh, yeah.
crosswalk there with the flashing signals, right? The RFBs, the flashing signals. Going up the hill, you know where the crosswalk is right now, perilously close to the top of the hill.
Yeah.
That's gonna get moved back. It's feet, it's not like yards, it's just a certain number of feet to make it a better crossing over toward the Chamber of Commerce and Royce, the
So it's
former
gonna
Royce
come
Insurance.
up the hill a little bit?
Up the hill a little bit.
Okay.
Continuing up the hill now, as soon as these are done, as you're coming on to Merchants Row, at least for the southern part, it gets bumped out 12 feet. So it pushes the parking out, which requires one way. So that will become, coming up the hill in front of Merchants Row, will be one way, which I believe safely is what most people do now
Well, I think so.
anyway.
Agreed.
And having no people come out, moving those crosswalks where they are, just safer all the way around. So those are the four primary areas that we're gonna get for 375. Reminder, 300,000 is a grant, 75,000 is a match. We do get back $37,500 because I am serving as your project manager. So we are gonna take 10% based on my time and Heidi's time and billable back that we can then simply just turn back into the project. That's part of the match. So advantageous all the way around.
Good.
So updates to follow. We'll start having a public dialogue. As a reminder, we had all the scoping study. Everybody was in this room before my time, but I read all the reports to give feedback. When we present next time, the presentation is this is what we are going to do. Because
Agreed.
at the end of the day, we will make a concerted effort because there's new businesses, there's new folks that weren't in place when the scoping study occurred. So we will go door to door in advance, myself and Heidi, to say, hey, this is what it looks like, here's what we're gonna do. We'll have a public forum kickoff here, show a PowerPoint, but then more importantly, go down there and walk the whole area and show people what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
All right, any questions on that?
When is the proposed start of construction?
It's a great question. I would say there's an outside shot in 2024, but I doubt it. I think all along they've said, you know, get the final design, get it approved, reach out to the companies, get it bid, and in all likelihood, spring of 2025. And then that, on the heels of that, as a reminder, right, we're pursuing the next round of funding now, $600,000 to start doing the Merchants Row parking lot, the entire backside, stormwater, walkability, bikeability, parking, all of that. And in 3 to 5 years, it's gonna look completely different, and we're gonna have more parking than we've ever had,
Yeah.
which is a great thing.
Yes. Great.
Okay, we got this little thing called FERC going on. So Federal Regulatory Commission, we're making progress. So all of the reports have been filed based upon our scientists and engineers hired by our attorney, Paul Nolan. We use some of the best folks around doing all the studies. So you have to go through the ANR 401 report and get a 401 water quality certificate before you go through the FERC process. This is honestly where we expect to have some hurdles. We have a public meeting. We'll put it out well in advance as a reminder. February 26th here, 10 a.m. And that is just, it's our scientists here and then some folks online if they want to be online. It's just the initial review and submission by our experts to ANR about where we are with the studies. Because of the high water, we know we're deficient in a couple areas that we'll have to retest this summer. But once we actually formally file with ANR, that's when the negotiations essentially begin. Morrisville's going through it now. They essentially say, we accept all your findings, but we want you to go whatever the restrictions are. Run a river, can't draw down, run a river for more months, remove certain things like dams, all of that. So as a repeat, we're on schedule not to be relicensed in April of 2024. We are no way are we going to meet that deadline, nor does anyone else who owns a dam in the state of Vermont.
Right.
That's just the norm. So as a reminder to the public, we simply run on our old license. Nothing changes. We remain engaged with ANR and with FERC in the process. And as long as we're doing that on a regular basis, we can go on our old license.
There were two engineering guys from Washington that were here for the initial dam inspection.
Yep.
I personally spoke with them quite a bit.
Yep.
And they were pretty happy with our operation. Is that testimony or that piece part of this equation? I mean, it should be the same guys.
No, I mean, we have a great relationship with FERC. I don't think this is
Yeah.
really the FERC process.
FERC's not the problem.
The,
No,
the
no.
state of Vermont A&R process and FERC
Yeah,
are
they're great.
supposed to be parallel but complementary paths.
But
we
isn't
find
FERC,
that
isn't
they're-
FERC the higher court?
You don't even go to them until you get your 401 license. You cannot pass go until you collect that. See how I wrapped in the monopoly theme?
Very good.
So
Wow.
I think we'll be okay. I think our facility is highly regarded. I don't think at the end of the day, there's no danger here. It's simply a labor-intensive, arduous process to navigate now, for a number of reasons.
I would think we should go to our Washington people, basically our senator and our 2 reps, and they should be putting some pressure on the state because of the fact that this indeed is green. It's been the nation's and the state's goal to go so-called green. How can this possibly be, by holding it up and causing more expense, just exacerbates their argument?
Yep, I actually have been honored, despite my short time, to be asked by BEPSA to be part of their legislative committee, subcommittee. So every Monday, including today, we have discussions about things that are happening in Montpelier, to include testimony on various bills. There is a ongoing discussion that hydro is no longer the new renewable. So they're actually having a dialogue on a continued basis to require up to 40% of all new renewables to be either wind, solar, actually just solar, or battery backup, with no thought to the impact on the ratepayers. So we have no ability to do solar, so it would be a $20 million battery to meet peaking. It's gonna stay on the wall, we're obviously fighting it, but those are the types of discussions. There's no longer any love nor any direct mention of hydroelectric being renewable in Vermont.
That is so flawed, it's unreal.
Agreed?
Wind powers cannot be rebuilt, they have to be replaced.
Yeah.
Sun panels cannot be repaired, they have to be replaced. Hydro generators can be rebuilt an infinite number of times. That's renewable. Water's for free. How can those idiots possibly be fighting hydropower as not being renewable?
I think a lot of it is just the unknown for them. They're not subject matter experts, but that is the ongoing battle. But VEPSA is a good steward, and they have multiple folks going down and providing testimony to hopefully stop that. But we have had dialogues certainly with our local representatives, and if need be, but it is all the belief that that hydro perhaps is not the new renewables, and that we have to go 100% to electrification, meaning battery backup storage.
It's a very California type.
We are usually 2 to 5 years behind California for
The
the
best-
adoption of those types
I would
of
argue the best freaking battery in the world is the water behind the dam.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know.
They expect the res bill in the House to come out of natural resources as early as tomorrow and go to the full House side. But testimony thus far has protected our hydro in terms of its own tier and acceptance that we're 100% renewable. So we're okay so far.
Who
But it
owns
takes
the-
an active eye and aggressive testimony.
Who owns the hydro dam that comes off the Lamoille into Burlington?
For right now, Burlington Electric. Winooski 1, the one that you see when you pass, Burlington Electric Department.
I wonder when they're up for licensing,
Is that the
if they've
one,
already gotten it.
the one in the Winooski River?
You gotta wonder if there's a little hate against Franklin County.
No, it's evenly spread. I think, again, we're recognized as being the top tier in the industry.
Oh,
And it's
agreed.
just a
But I think
select
there's a
few.
little, I think there's a little bit of animosity. I call it hatred, but, you know, we do a very good job. We're very good stewards of the river, and we've proved them wrong all these years, and that's why they're coming after us.
Yeah.
That's the only reason they're coming after us, is because we're doing a very good job and we're making them look bad. Shame on us for doing our job and making them look bad.
All of our environmental studies do point out that we're great stewards of the environment.
Yeah.
That in fact, we're not harming. If anything, we're benefiting based on the things that we're doing. And really, all we want to do is relicense.
That's
Our
it,
401 and our relicense with no additional restrictions.
that's it.
Even if maybe extend Run a River for 15 more days in the back end, that's not offensive. Maybe we have permission to draw down much more than we do in practice, so they could even restrict that a little bit more. But to just say Run a River would cost our ratepayers a significant amount of money because it would inhibit our ability to generate power.
Then we'd have to go to get this approval of the state to raise the rates.
That's correct. It's a never-ending circle.
Again,
One thing we don't have, that Burlington does, beside their hydro dam, we don't have a smokestack.
that's right. I don't
That
hear
is
anybody
true.
complaining about that.
That is true.
But that's another story.
Yes,
There are some,
I digress,
there
but I've
are,
said my piece.
there are some that do. And there's a group at UVM that opposes the emissions from McNeil.
McNeil is very much at this point under attack
Yes,
on multiple fronts.
Yeah.
And they're waiting with interest on the mayoral race in Burlington to see what McNeil's fate is.
Huh.
Yeah. Any other questions reference FERC?
No.
I could talk about it all day, Diane's
No.
looking at me like, come on.
We're done.
Yeah.
We're done.
It's just frustrating.
You could talk all
The
you
president said we're done, we're done.
Okay, so I've talked about
need
this
another
before. The next topic is micro-transit. Micro-transit. So I don't want to kill trees, but I'm going to pass this around. We're going to put this as a report on our website at some point. But remember, Amy Brewer is
Yeah.
awesome. Her crew, and this makes a great deal of sense. So this is Green Mountain Transit, other partners for micro-transit, which means a non-dedicated route to get our consumers,
thank you, sir.
our citizens, back and forth to various appointments. So really excited that we were included with St. Albans City over St. Albans Town to enhance the ability to reach our village core for this project. Here's some of the problems. So I'll send you this full report. We'll post it on our website for the public. Couple of things. Green Mountain Transit said, look, we gotta stick with just St. Albans City and the immediate area for now. If we think we can develop enough ride share, we can extend it to Swanton. And if we can find an additional bus and additional drivers. So there's a lot of if. This is not something that's happening in 2024. This is likely still a conversation in 2025. But you think about Vermont, VPT, Vermont Precision Tools. If somebody does not have ready access, but wants a job in our community, to live in St. Albans City, this is a mechanism. Anybody going to doctor's appointments from our community, all of that. Endless possibilities. It is a long-term vision. We're not going to get there tomorrow, but again, it's an encouraging discussion for our citizens. Any questions on micro-transit?
Nope.
It's called
All right.
micro-transit.
Micro-transit, yep.
Yep, somebody might,
We're gonna end this one on a dark topic. Total eclipse of the sun. So I'm gonna pass these out. These show you, so the state of Vermont right now is assisting local communities in the planning and preparation for the April 8th solar eclipse. There's no school on that date. I checked with the school district. This is actually a big deal. While the state of Vermont is planning no direct events, St. Albans is talking about 60,000 people.
Yeah.
So you see where the line is, no, the limit is Barry South, nothing. It's a once in a lifetime for many people. From 2:14 till 4:37, there's a partial eclipse. And here, for 3.5 minutes, beginning at 3:26 p.m., there's a total eclipse.
Oh, shit.
So we are gonna do an internal celebration. You're gonna be invited, total eclipse barbecue and viewing here at the village offices. You gotta know to invite them,
How
right?
many guests can we bring?
Hot dogs and hamburgers.
Gonna do the goggles again and all that.
Make sure you have.
Yeah, we're gonna need to get some cheap, we're trying to find free, cheap glasses to wear, but we might have to
The
figure out.
chamber also is working on getting the glasses, and our hope is that we come up with a couple hundred pair that we can put in the businesses so
Yeah.
that people can go in and grab and
Nice,
do some shopping as well.
nice, good
I've
idea.
seen one before, so I have glasses somewhere, and I looked the other day, and I haven't
Use
found
my
them
welder's
yet.
helmet.
You can wear your welder's helmet, but,
They have them down at Divine Treasures
Yeah, they're
downtown.
selling.
oh, they do?
$3 a pair,
Okay.
How much?
$3.
Well, they don't have to be expensive.
Where they got it?
I'm wondering.
Down
if we
at
can
our
do
store.
Just looked on it.
Divine Treasures.
Like,
Oh, they have them there.
Yeah. Now, I bought some for Marie and I and our guests that are coming from Seattle.
So don't hide them like I did mine.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Now, where was I?
Yeah, St. Albans
Where
is,
was I?
the city's really promoting it.
How was that?
Oh, they're talking about, there's no hotel rooms.
Somewhere.
All the North American airlines that are flying over any part of the eclipse are fully booked. People are fighting for the window seats. I guess it's kind of cool, yeah.
Once in 100 years.
Yeah, so I figured I'd end it on total eclipse. That's all I have until,
That's your, that's
They
your
should be in a
total
band, that'd make
eclipse.
a great song.
right?
yeah. And that is all I have until executive session, but executive session, there's no update on real estate. I literally have a 30-second personnel update, and that's all I have for executive session.
You heard that, guys? We're gonna hold them to that.
Okay.
Okay.
Can't win.
Okay, thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Last item before executive session, any other necessary business?
One question. The yearly report is being printed or published or whatever,
Pardon?
The annual report?
the annual report?
Yep, so I have one fund left to do tomorrow, hopefully off to the printers on Wednesday, if not Friday.
And we'll be sending them out to the public.
They will be mailed out to our registered voters.
Yes, good.
Yep.
Very good, thank you. That's all I have.
So I had the opportunity, I cleaned up Saturday the lights in the park, Christmas lights that we had left. Sunday I went down, took care of the bandstand, dumped the tree over the side of the bandstand, so got that all out of the way. But I noticed a lot of our trees are in sad shape. And I know how people feel about clear cutting, but I will have a conversation with the beautification committee on new trees for the park, because those trees just need to come down at this point. They do our park a disservice.
Don't we have a plan for
Thought we had
replanting
tree
trees
plan, yeah.
down there?
And we had one probably 3 years ago,
Yeah,
before COVID started. And I was part of that, but I've not done anything with it.
That was a pretty solid plan, if we could resurrect it.
Was it Frank someone?
It was Frank Shumway, yeah, I just, you know, and of course I'm looking at these trees in January when they're dead
yeah,
anyway.
right.
You know, I get it, I get it, I'm just, you know,
I understand.
I think we need to start over at some point and make the park look nice, like it used to be.
Yeah.
So when the
The
trees were
idea was to
healthy,
plant the trees in stages though, so they didn't all mature at the same time.
right. So, but again, that'll, you know, and
Maybe,
that'll probably come under the village budget number too.
maybe we could check with Frank Shumway to see what happened to the plan, or,
Yeah,
because he was.
well, I was involved in it, so it may have just fallen by the wayside as well.
How many years ago, just for my information?
3 or 4.
3, 4.
3 or
Okay.
4 or 5 maybe.
Yeah,
Could check with
it
Frank.
might have been just.
I
as
think there's
COVID hit
actually a
or
report.
I
as
thought
COVID
Hank
hit.
Lambert and
And an inventory of the
did
trees
something.
in the park
Yeah.
and in the
Yeah.
village.
So, but I'll go to the beautification,
So that's this
Group.
Wednesday.
that's this Wednesday?
They
We're
moved
gonna
their
meet
meeting,
that
it's
night.
Wednesday night now.
Well, maybe I'll make a phone call.
Yeah.
That might be better.
That's
Yes,
at the
can't be
library.
in two places.
Yeah.
I think we had a UVM student one
So
summer.
check online
Counted
to
trees.
verify it's Wednesday night. I think that's, yeah, 31st, that's when they moved
Yeah,
it
it's
to.
Wednesday
Yeah,
night,
it's Wednesday.
because you asked me to go.
No, that's the set, that's the broader set, that's Thursday night, I am going to that. Wednesday night is beautification, that's a subcommittee of the set.
Oh,
And
okay.
I'm going to the set meeting on behalf of the village on Thursday night.
Oh,
Good,
you are?
Yeah,
better you than me.
Okay.
unless you wanna go.
Go, go. Well, we can both go.
Yeah, no, I think it's important to, there's a lot going on, I think it's important to take the 2 minutes that we have for an update, provide it.
Yeah, right.
Okay, I'll follow up with Frank, but I'll also follow up with Hank,
Yeah,
Frank and Hank.
Okay. Any other necessary business?
Thank you.
Not tonight.
Okay. Well, I'll remind everyone to try to educate themselves on the issues before the vote, and hopefully we'll have a banner turnout for our vote on March 5th. We have some new candidates running, and I hope everybody will look well to their ballots on March 5th. So,
And those people who are running new, maybe come to the informational meeting so the folks can
right.
meet them
What-
and
What
get,
was the date for the informational meeting again?
February 26th
26th.
at 7,
February 26th at 7 o'clock,
Monday, the 26th.
just for the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I think it would behoove the candidates who are running, to come out and be able to, give some information on themselves and what they perceive.
Okay, that being said, I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel and real estate.
so moved.
Second,
Motion been made and seconded to go into an executive session to discuss personnel and real estate. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, motion's carried unanimously. We are in executive session.